to say that we could be and should be Super Bowl contenders.
I think this moment is going to be more iconic than we all realize right now.
Are you ready?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into First Take on this Friday Eve. Coming to you live from NYC, Pier 17. Stephen A. Smith has us covered coast to coast because he is in Los Angeles. How we doing, my friend?
What's going on? How you doing? How's everything going?
How's the weather in L.A., Stephen A.?
Well, first of all, the weather's beautiful. I heard that there's a lot of rain out there yesterday. My condolences. I mean, I'm very, very sorry about that. For those of you who are out there who do not know, the reason I'm in L.A. is because I was filming a commercial for ESPN. With Snoop Dogg, a few other stuff like that.
And then decided, you know what? It's raining on the East Coast. I think I'll stay here for a minute. Brother, I don't blame you.
Well, I did have some meetings in Hollywood as well.
Okay.
If I'm being totally honest. So.
Yeah. That's good. Taking care of business. We like
Something
it.
like
All right. We should do that too, guys. So at this time last year, the Cleveland Browns were dealing with a 17-game losing streak and very, very low expectations. What a difference a year makes. We can say that again. Baker Mayfield telling Complex, I think in the media and everything that comes around with the hype around our team right now, people want to see us lose just because the hype is so real. The expectations clearly are sky high for this season. They closed it out at 5-2 last year. Odell Beckham's arrival, plus Kareem Hunt, Jarvis Landry, Nick Chubb, David Njoku. Those are just naming a few on offense, not even touching on the defensive side of the ball. They got a top 10 defense as well. Stephen A., I'll start with you here. Do you agree with Baker that people want to see them lose?
Hell yes. I wouldn't say people, like there's an abundance of people out there because you're talking about the elite, the creme de la creme that people are usually rooting against, the Patriots, the Yankees, and people like that. But speaking for myself, he's absolutely right. Number one, I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. What division is the Cleveland Browns in? The AFC North, the same division as the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, of course, that would be the number one reason. But in all seriousness, I will tell you this. Profound respect for Baker Mayfield and what that brother did last year. And I believe in his skills, and I believe he's going to be big time. And I believe they have exceptional talent on Cleveland. But for an organization that hasn't even touched on mediocrity, let alone relevancy, for pretty much the last 2 decades, for everybody to be talking about them like they're some Super Bowl contender without having not having played together yet, it's quite nauseating. I know Odell Beckham Jr. is a bad brother. I know Jarvis Landry can play. And Njoku's been a guest on this show. Like him a lot. Wish him nothing but the best. And the brother can play. Offensive line is nothing to sneeze at. You look at Nick Chubb. He can ball. We saw him at Georgia. We saw him last year in the NFL. And Kareem Hunt, after his 8-game suspension, he'll be back there. And so when you look at it from that perspective, and that's just on the offensive side of the ball, I can understand people saying, on paper, look at these brothers. But this is the National Football League. Injuries happen every single week. One individual could go down. That could disrupt everything. You got a rookie head coach, okay? He was your offensive coordinator after Hugh Jackson left, and he pretty much worked directly and intimately with Baker Mayfield, so Baker Mayfield's got a lot of faith in him. I get all of that. But damn, they haven't done anything yet. And when people sit around and talk about them like they are the second coming, they're talking about them like they were the Pittsburgh Steelers, like they were the New England Patriots, hell, like they were the Kansas City Chiefs, for crying out loud. And they're none of those teams. They have stunk. They have been abysmal. They've been moribund and pathetic for many, many, many years. At least give us a couple of weeks or at least a month to see them play before we do all of this. But no, we got Max Kellerman on the air calling them a Super Bowl contender. We got other aficionados coming all over the place, bloviating about them and just being so disrespectful to a whole bunch of teams out there in the AFC who have a better history. So yes, he's absolutely right. As it pertains to me, not the general public, but as it pertains to me, do I want to see the Cleveland Browns shut up? I mean, shut down, really. Yes, I do. I'm tired of all the hype, okay? Let's see what they do when a helmet is attached to them. Let's see what happens then. That's all I'm saying.
Player hater.
Yeah.
Turn your head around.
Player hater.
On the ground.
They ain't played yet, Max.
You've been wrong, Stephen A.
They ain't played yet, man.
Everything you just said is why everyone's rooting for the Browns. Every normal person's rooting for the Browns. Okay, you're a Steelers fan. You get a pass for that. Yeah. But to be hating on them when they're obviously now good. Look, all the history you point out is why this is more awesome. That's ancient history, really. You're talking about, into modern history, year after year after year of just terrible team after terrible team. The team relocated. The fans fought to get the Browns franchise back. It's a new franchise, a different franchise, but they get to keep the Browns name, the Browns history. The fans did that because they're so thirsty for football in Cleveland. LeBron was huge, but that's not a basketball town. The Indians are good. That's not a baseball town. It's a football town, the dog pound. These are the most deserving fans, probably of any sport in the world, to finally have a winner. We're not even saying Super Bowl winner this year. We're just saying a contender. I could have been a contender on the waterfront. Marlon Brando, Stephen A. They're finally a contender. Yes, they are. You want to talk about history? Let's talk about recent history. Like, what were they last year? 7-8-1. And the first half of the season, what was their winning percentage? What, they have 2 wins the first half of the season under Hugh Jackson? And then they went on a tear at the end of the season. They finished 7-8-1 last year. Now, Baker Mayfield's a year more experienced. They add Odell Beckham Jr. And in the second half of the season, Kareem Hunt to a 7-8-1 team. The history you're talking about predates the quarterback. You can't win without a quarterback in the NFL, especially in the last 20 years. And they've never had one until now. And the fact that Baker Mayfield is talking like this, the franchise quarterback is chugging beers at a Cleveland Indians game and talking smack back at the media, makes it better because you're right, there is enormous pressure. All eyes of the football world on them. A rabid fan base. Stephen A. Smith talking on TV saying, damn right, I hope they lose. There's all this pressure. Do they just humbly and quietly come out and take pressure off? No. The quarterback is talking. By the way, checking the wideouts. Odell's done a lot more in the NFL than Baker's done, and Baker had no problem checking Odell when he thought there was a problem. And Odell didn't clap back.
So the quarterback checks the receiver, and now we want to give him a badge of honor.
No,
oh, my God, the quarterback said, damn it, run the right, come back to the back, come back to the football. And so because of that, that's a headline now, right? That's a headline now. Just stop it.
No.
I'm sick and tired of all of this noise about the Cleveland Browns. Let me tell you something about the Cleveland Browns. Oh, by the way, yes, we didn't want you to lose the daggone team, okay? In 1995, when you lost the team, none of us were happy about that. They were gone for 3 seasons, then came back in 1999, okay? What have they done since? 1 playoff appearance. By the way, that was 2002. They had a quarterback. They had a quarterback by the name of Kelly Holcomb who went to the playoffs against Pittsburgh, threw for 400+ yards, and still lost. To who? Was it Big Ben Roethlisberger? No, he wasn't there yet. Tommy Maddox was the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, okay? And they still beat Cleveland. And since then, they haven't been to the postseason. You guys want, all I'm saying is this. People like you, Max, sitting up there, oh, you know they're a Super Bowl contender, right? I mean, they're a Super Bowl contender. I'm sorry. Listen, I got mad respect for Odell Beckham Jr. How many playoff appearances did he make with the Giants? 1. Jarvis Landry, nice player, really good player. I really like him. When he showed up in the playoffs against the Pittsburgh Steelers when he was a Miami Dolphin, didn't quite work out for him. Njoku can ball. Nick Chubb can ball. I get all of that, but all I'm saying is, my God.
So the hype is real is what Baker's saying.
Well, I'm saying, could you show up and do something? I mean, could they play 2 weeks?
You want
them to show up?
2 weeks? You want them to show up and do something before the season begins?
No, I want you all, people like you, to shut up, be quiet until they play. How y'all sitting up there talking about them like they're a Super Bowl contender? They ain't even play a week together yet. Come on. Let them do something. That's all I'm trying to say. Do something.
So you think it's unreasonable for people to look at a team that was 1 tie with your Pittsburgh Steelers away from being 500, that was clearly 2 separate teams when the now head coach took over after the former head coach had one of the worst records in the history of football, when the quarterback clearly started throwing to open receivers? That team adds Odell Beckham Jr. and Kareem Hunt, you think it's unreasonable for people to say, I think they're going to be a couple games better than last year?
The defensive coordinator for the New York Jets now was the head coach for the Cleveland Browns after Hugh Jackson left.
Well, that's right.
Not Freddie Kitchens. So Freddie Kitchens is a first-year head coach. Baker Mayfield, there's film on him now. Right. A second-year quarterback. All I'm trying to say is, you in the AFC, you got Kansas City, you got New England. Your division alone is Pittsburgh and Baltimore in it. Then the South, we looking at one of the toughest divisions with Indy and Jacksonville and Houston. Excuse me, Cleveland, could you do something first before the Max Kellermans of the world is sitting there mentioning you in a Super Bowl in the same sentence?
You're right about Kitchens, right. But the coordinator that had success, Odell Beckham Jr., and Kareem Hunt to you don't equal turning a tie into a win and maybe 1 or 2 extra wins, because that's what everyone's saying. They're a 9-10 win team.
They're not saying
maybe
that.
even a little
I
better.
didn't say
yes,
that.
they are. Because once you do that, you're likely to go to the playoffs.
Guys.
You said Super
We're
Bowl.
out of time.
Contender.
We're out of
That's right.
time. All I know is
Super
the shine
Bowl
has always been on
contender.
the
Oh,
Steelers
stop
in the
it.
AFC North. Now the Browns are the sexy team. New pretty young thing. Look how that happens. You just
They
jumped
gotta
right
play
on, Max.
first.
Coming up later in the
They sure
show,
are
will
pretty,
the
though.
ghosts of the Eagles past come to haunt Carson Wentz in Philly? We'll explain our second hour, Stephen A. What else you got?
Yeah. A lot more to come on First Take. You won't believe who I think will have a more intriguing season than that bad man Aaron Rodgers. And Eric Reed is putting Jay-Z on blast for teaming up with the NFL. Does he have a point? Plus, will the Lakers regret letting Ty Lue go to the Los Angeles Clippers? We'll debate that and so much more. First Take in the house with the crew. Let's get it started.